As you might have heard today about transnational repression, there was an Indian agent who was just brought from Czech Republic to US today and put it in front of the court. What do you want to say the community behind you, the Sikh community behind you, who have been persecuted over here through transnational repression?
See, that's the thing. If you're in the United States of America, regardless of your citizenship status, if you're a visitor, if you're just a tourist, you should be safe in this community. You should not be able to be politically persecuted. What do we see within the Punjab community in Canada and even here in the United States? You cannot carry out political assassinations or threats of violence against people in this country. And if you do, the Justice Department should come and swiftly prosecute and protect the people here. I know as a former FBI agent, I dealt with some of these issues. We cannot and have no place for hate in our community. Hate against people that might be a little bit different. If you're living and breathing here in this community, you have the right to free speech, the rights that are afforded to you in our Constitution that protect all people regardless of religion, race, sex, creed. Wherever you want to identify, you have that right here in the United States of America. And so I say for the Punjab community, for all the communities here, the Hmong, the Filipino, the Hispanic communities, the Black communities. I'm an Asian Pacific Islander and also Portuguese. We are all Americans and we all deserve the same equal treatment and equal rights. And that's what I say is I will represent that and I will fight for each person regardless of where they stand. It's time for a new generation of politics and time for a new generation of leadership.
Mac, another question about economy now. What are your plans for the city? As we know, the economy is not doing so great. It's been going down. And as being an agricultural county city over here, what are your plans for it?
I look at what we can do federally. If you don't have water, you can't grow things. You can't live. There is so much that needs to be done on ways of renewable energy and sustainability here in the Valley. There is so much. I tell people the Central Valley is Saudi Arabia for sustainable fuel. The technologies, everything that my generation has grown up saying can happen is available to be implemented right now. That brings jobs, that brings opportunities. We need an increase in health. Look what's happening to our hospitals. A lot of this is mismanagement. A lot of this is lack of representation and actually advocate for the people in this community. Farming opportunities should be increasing because of the community depends on it. The United States depends on ag. Other countries depend on ag. What we do in California, I tell people, we produce Louis Vuitton grade ag. We do it with the best environmental safety. We do it with the highest labor regulations. We do it with the least amount of water, and we still produce the best product. If we can do all of that, that is because the innovation of our farmers and our community here. And that should be celebrated. And in that, there's opportunities that the federal government needs to do. Because we have a higher labor rate, how do we compete with other states? Why don't we include in our farm bill money specifically set aside for our tree fruit growers, our specialty crops in almonds and pistachios? Why are we not having USAID send our almonds, our pistachios, all walnuts all over the world? It's cleaner, it's healthier, it's better. Why are we not doing that? No one can tell me. But I do believe that there's already people that are supporting this. And I am advocating and asking, even in this upcoming farm bill, to see increases in funding for specific programs. Because farming is not like a light switch that you can turn off and when you want it, you can turn it back on. Trees are living things. You have to water them, you have to take care of them. And so it's not something that we pause for a little bit. It's something that we have to maintain and respect. And that is one item. and there are so many more, and anyone can look at my resume, my background, go to my website at michaelmaher.com, and you can see what I've built here in the Valley and around the world. And I'm taking the time out with my wife and my kids to be a part of that new generation of leadership that's committed to our Valley to deliver that new future for all of us. Join me. Let's debate our ideas. Let's debate how we are going to build the future for Fresno and our Central Valley. You continue to dodge debates. There's been multiple groups that have asked for debates, from the Fresno Business Journal to Veterans Alliance groups, asking for debates. I propose that we have a series of debates so that people can actually hear what they have in Washington, D.C. as a representative. We should do debates in a free exchange of our ideas for every person in this valley. Media now is so divisive, where we're having clips, 15 seconds here and there. Being able to meet with the community, holding town halls, debating ideas, is how you actually gain true understanding of what the public wants to hear, wants to know, and ask and answer specific questions. And that's why I asked Jim Costa, show up, debate me, meet me. The community deserves to hear from you. And I also want to just say some of the things that we have that people need to recognize. We started off as a small valley, farming. I think my son is now 4th or 5th generation in farming. My background in the US Navy doing nuclear power, silent service in submarines, to construction all throughout the valley, or as a special agent with the FBI doing national security work. My experience and my life has prepared me for this moment to represent the Central Valley and bring back new opportunities, new investments, and also continue to address the issues that are ongoing here in the Valley that haven't been addressed in the life that has been spent by Jim Costa in our political state house and Washington, D.C. So again, meet me, debate me. There's people waiting. Our veterans are waiting. Our business community is waiting. And I ask you, show up. You're on break July 15th through the 19th. Let's do it then. The House goes on break again later in the year. We should do this ongoing at more than one interval so that people can know what our opportunity is here in the Central Valley. Be happy to provide any other comments one-on-one afterwards, but please look at the people behind me. This is our community. This is all walks of life. This is not partisan politics. This is addressing the future of our valley. Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, take a question.
Please.
I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. And Jim Costa would only take the opportunity when there's a photo picture. Why is he not supporting veterans?
That's the challenge with lifetime politicians who graduate college and go straight into politics. I met with Jim when I was injured on active duty. Same question I asked for our Fresno VA hospital. Why in the district that he just left, that included Madera County, as a hospital's closing? Why was there no hospitals or VA facilities built? They're built in other districts. He continues to claim that he supports our veterans, and he doesn't. Look what's going on in our veteran administration right now. The funds that are being taken to support the veterans who have served, injured, lost legs, family members who have lost their children, to support this democracy. And what happens? More and more is taken, not only at Gavin Newsom at the state level, but at the federal level. So I can't answer for him, but I can answer for me in saying I will represent the people. I know I was a veteran.
What's been some of the major issues that you've been hearing during your campaign?
The major issues are the same issues I've heard my entire life. I'm in my 40s. We need water for farming. We need labor. And every time we see the same labor issues being punted, and all of a sudden it's, I'm going to propose a new bill right at election time, and nothing gets passed. He sponsored and passed 2 bills his entire time in Washington, D.C. And it's the basics of, can I afford rent? Is there affordable housing even available? Is there safety in our communities? Public education? My kids are in public education here in Fresno County. These are the basics of what make a society and a community. And these are the basics that we need. And those continue to be the ongoing questions as I talk to people at their doorstep, in the park, or even at the grocery store.
What is your vision for water solution?
My vision for water solution is, I'll be the only guy I think that has ever operated a nuclear power plant and actually made water. See, in the United States Navy, we have nuclear power. We power our submarines, we power our aircraft carriers, and we turn the ocean into drinking water. There's no reason why we can't have clean drinking water through desalination all throughout Southern California and at our coast. So we don't have to send the water out of the valley to feed and to provide drinking water for the other communities. As Fresno grows, we're not going to even have water for the expanding community to drink. There is still communities in the Central Valley that do not have clean access to water. The communities that you're supposed to represent, the most disenfranchised, the most underrepresented communities. And that is my issue. You know what a person is about by how they treat the least of us. And when you look at some of these communities that are not continuing to receive basics on water and education and fair treatment, or the people that I grew up with that happen to be brought across the border so their parents could find new opportunities, that I find out I went to school with who aren't and don't have citizenship. What do we have? An administration and a guy like Jim Costa who continues to talk about it at election time, but never actually delivers real solutions for our community. So water is very simple solutions. Sites, reservoir, right now we just learned what? $500 million was cut out of the budget. Gavin Newsom eliminated that because of the budget mismanagement. Is the federal government going to even be able to provide support and funding to make up these gaps? I can tell you, not with a congressman like Jim Costa. He brought not even $26 million back to the district. Not even that. On the 33rd largest city in America, he should be bringing billions of dollars of infrastructure improvement, jobs and opportunity, and water infrastructure. And he doesn't. So after 50 years of all that political power and political experience, why is he doing less than John Duarte on his first year, who brought over twice as much money back? And if he wants to say, well, the Republicans have the House, how come Congressman Bowman, Democrat, on his second term has already brought over $1 billion back to his district? It's because people are lifetime politicians and are only focused on the future of their lifestyle and their career. He has no community and no roots here, no children. I do. Children are here. Our community is here. We need a future. My children need a future. All of our children need a future. So that's one step of many. Any other questions?
Have you? Go ahead.
Michael, on national security, being a national security expert on the border specifically, what do we need to do in order to tighten it up for human trafficking, fentanyl, or against the cartels?
Yeah, so that's a major issue, is the border and border security. Not so we can keep good people who want to come in and have jobs and careers and opportunities, but so we can keep out criminal cartels, people who are bringing in drugs. When I was in the FBI, I participated in multiple raids against Maher Salvatrucha, you know as MS-13, or the Sinaloa cartel. These are criminal organizations that are trafficking human beings for labor. These are criminal organizations that are bringing drugs in that are killing. Every 11 minutes, someone is dying of a fentanyl overdose. We have to enforce our laws at the border. But we also don't need to just build a wall. We need to build a big old door that allows all of the opportunity, labor, and people to come in easily and freely. This is 2024. We all have cell phones that we're holding, and we can't even do an app to be able to allow people to move in quickly. It's time for a new generation of leadership, and it's time for somebody who actually has the experience of going against true criminal organizations and stopping corruption.
Michael, when elected, what will you do to restore our Second Amendment rights here in California?
The last question, I think this goes to all rights. First Amendment, Second Amendment, it's not restoring, it's recognizing what's already there. And I have so many friends who are concerned about gun violence, as am I. As am I as a former law enforcement that worked with Fresno sheriffs, Fresno PD, with LAPD, with the sheriff's office in Riverside and Los Angeles. It's concerning, but we do not take away people's rights just because it's concerning. We make sure that we have training, education. We make sure that we protect everyone's rights, even if they are inconvenient. And so that's all you have to do is stand for what we already have. And if you don't take control of what you already have, then someone else is going to take it from you. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Michael. Thank you. Talk to KSC 24th.
Yeah.
Good job, Mike.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right.
We all get a good shot.
Yeah.
All right. So just
Name Michael Maher, Michael Maher, California Congressional District 21.
all right. So tell us about what you're doing here today.
So today I am doing a press conference to draw attention to the 21st District, asking for a debate with Congressman Jim Costa. He continues to ignore the request from our veterans communities, from other business communities, asking for a debate, just like he continues to ignore this district and actually representing the Valley.
And how long have you been asking for this debate for?
Well, I ran last election, right before we almost won. We got extremely close, outspent I think close to 10-1, and he wouldn't even debate when the veterans asked last time. He refused to show up and actually canceled. And I understand his congressional schedule, but we know the dates that he's available. And so this is going on years of asking, will you show up for the people and let them hear what your plans are for the future of the Valley?
Michael, there's been a report, I believe it was NPR or something, that there's not enough Arab nations getting involved in the Israel-Gaza war. Do you believe more Arab nations should get involved in the conflict there?
Absolutely. I think I saw something this morning about Netanyahu disbanding one of his war cabinet, and so that's a good sign with what's going on. And that's a very close issue to my heart because I focused on Islamic jurisprudence at Oxford University in England and here studying under Sheikh Ramadan at the Masjid in Fresno. This is a debate and a war and a conflict that's been going on for thousands of years. And if we don't have the ability to sit down as a community and address it here in our own communities on how we view it, and also how it's going to be addressed there with Israel and the surrounding nations. You have Egypt, you have Jordan, you have Saudi Arabia involved, you have Iran. There are so many groups that are involved right now in this conflict that it's not some simple issue that can be quickly talked about on a news soundbite. This is something that actually has to be done with thought, reason, and love and respect. And if we don't do that, I'm concerned for that future.
And just to follow up, do you think Costa is doing a good job addressing that issue?
No, I think he's completely dodged the issue. I'm actually, it's clear. Look at where is he getting all his funding? It's all PAC money. He is a person who is a lifetime politician who addresses issues based on what is politically expedient for him to get reelected.
Okay, and then
So, Michael, what is your message to all the states or the governments who are doing transnational repression over here, who are hiring hitmen to kill U.S. citizens on the soil of nation?
If you hire a hitman in the United States, the FBI will get you, they'll arrest you, you will be indicted and you'll be put in prison. Do not do that in the United States. And I can guarantee, as a representative and a former FBI special agent, I will get you, and I'll make sure the FBI gets you, and I will support that organization to bring justice. Do not do that in the United States.
If any time a transnational repression bill comes to the floor over there in D.C., will you support it?
I will say, based on what we just talked about, yes. But I always have to be very careful. I've seen so many things where they say, yes, I'm going to support it, and all of a sudden you get the bill change. Look what Gavin Newsom did with Prop 47, protecting our communities. That what happened? Completely got turned. So I want to make sure I'm reading what's inside the bills to ensure that the people who are supposed to be protected are protected.
And then with you saying all these things about Costa, what can you tell the community that makes you more reliable so they can trust in you? For those who don't know you.
For those who don't know me, my life. My life started here in California. It started right after September 11th, my military journey. November 16th, I enlisted. I served in the Navy. I came back, I did construction after being injured on active duty. My whole entire life has been about service, building, bringing opportunities, and protecting our community. And now even more so, in my 40s, I have to make sure that I'm protecting my wife and my kids and their future, and the future of all the children in this valley. And he can't understand that. He has no kids. He cannot relate. And I don't fault him for that. That's his choice. But that is why I will do a better job.
And then being here in Fresno today, with all the support behind you, all the people that are here, what do you want to say about that?
I love it, as it should be. I don't ask people what their preferences are, their backgrounds, their religions. I am a Christian. I'm very open on my faith. But in that, what are we supposed to do as a government representative? It's representing the people of all faiths, all nations, all religions here in this district. And that's what I want the voters to know here in the district is it's time for a new type of Republican to run here in the Valley.
So you have unity in your statement. How will you unite this America as it is very divided right now, politically divided?
I will be able to unite in Washington, D.C. because when we win this seat in November, it's going to be the largest upset on a person who has spent the last 50 years in politics. And so in that victory, national attention is going to be brought to Fresno, the 33rd largest city in America. And by continuing to be faithful, continuing to stay engaged in the community, and asking everyone who's listening and watching, get engaged, reach out to the campaign. I want to know what your ideas are, how I can best serve the community. That's how I stay successful. That's how I actually protect and do what I'm supposed to be